I was an absolute unit, competing internationally as a men's physique and classic physique competitor, smashing endless amounts of bikini girls. I can still see all their Christmas tree ripped back from banging them from behind. It was Christmas every goddamn day for me. Bah ha ha. What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemordates.com. Today we're going to be talking about motherfucking Trenbolone Story Time by Spinach Life 5492. Haven't read this one yet, but I looked down the comments, said can't wait for Derek to read this to me. Let's hope Derek adds this to the Tren horror story so we can listen. Exuberant, fucking grinning ear to ear emoji. Already waiting for Tren and Tinder. Also, where are the photos? He posted a pic earlier. Like fucking no, dude. Okay, so anyway, like that was enough for me to be like, okay, this guy has like something reasonable to talk about. It's not just horse shit. So let's get into it. And also, this guy has an interesting backstory where he's been coached by like top gurus in the industry. And he actually outlines his cycles with them, what they had him doing, their diets and shit. So that might be a whole separate video, but this is his Trenbolone story. And then in another video, if you want me to get into what apparently a top 5 guru prescribed him as a performance enhancing protocol, let me know. So, hello family of MPMD, my name is Meat, nickname I acquired from constantly bringing meat around wherever I went. I'm from Niagara, Ontario, Canada. I want to start off with I condone all PED and steroid use. The use of steroid competing and picking up women have developed part of my personality and extroverted qualities to a whole other level. I've developed the confidence to get outside my comfort zone and do things I normally would never try. I currently am in the process of becoming a firefighter and have just booked a 4-week volunteer trip to help out with the hardships Bali, Indonesia is going through. Now let me digress back into my PED use and my years of competing. Growing up, I was definitely good at sports, not a genetic outlier. I always felt content, but never satisfied with my growth in sports. That was until met my weakness, weights. I quickly became addicted around 14 years old and was on my way to discovering chicken breast and broccoli all the way to buying expired protein for my nearest supplement hookup. Fast forward a couple of years down the road, and I was well past my noob gains and was currently making small changes with variables left that I had to move around. Steroid talk starts now. Now, I remember this moment so clear. I had just got off school around grade 10. I was just arriving at my local YMCA. Now, your first steroid experience doesn't start at the local YMCA. You're not a true juice head at heart. Wait, now if your first steroid experience doesn't start at the local YMCA, you're not a true juice head at heart. Gotcha. I was meeting up with my best friend until this day. And we started off our chest day with, you guessed it, way too heavy, extremely bad form bench press. Now at this point, I was the motherfucking alpha at my high school until our school's local grade 13 juice distributor, grade 13, what the fuck? Juice distributor decided to flood my school. This must be like an Ontario thing, grade 13, what the fuck? Decided to flood my school and super fit class with copious amounts of steroids. Now, I didn't know this, so when my best friend, just good friends at the time, decided it was a great time at the age of 16 to start an anadrol test cycle, I watched this man barely be able to move 135 to doing 225 for 15 reps, hopping off the goddamn bench press like Ric Flair when someone yells the word Colombian nose nachos, ... Now, I was really scared to do steroids at this point and needed to quickly convince one of my friends to hop on a test cycle with me just in case anything went wrong. He would be going down with me. Kind of like when you were in elementary school and got sent down to the office, and while waiting there, one of your friends got booked too. It's that weight taken off your shoulder feeling, knowing that someone else is going to be going through the same thing. Sadly, I didn't educate myself on Gyno. Now, somewhere in the timeline of grade 4, I appreciate the detail this guy went into for like adding actual flair to the writing. Somewhere in the timeline of grade 4 to 8, my brother and I developed some fucking sweet pubertal gyno. Not thinking anything of it, my friend and I hopped on our very first cycle. Within a few days, I caught myself touching my nipple a lot. Fast forward 2 weeks, I had some of the nicest tits I'd ever seen, along with an abscess on my shoulder so big that you can no longer see the separation of my bicep, tricep, and shoulder. Again, guys will pin delts, quads, shit like that, but it's like, if you're gonna get an infection or an abscess or just have a bad shot in general with debilitating post-injection pain, Do you want it in a body group that is either going to be cosmetically permanently deformed if you have to get it fucking cut open, that's going to fucking ruin your aesthetic appeal or, you know, severely hinder it, or something that's going to prevent you from literally fucking walking around like your leg? Or would you rather have it be in your goddamn ass? This is why the glute and the ventral glute, I find, are the primary candidates for an introductory injection site. And I don't know why everyone wants to go with things like delts and quads. And I can understand that they are, you know, reasonably good injection sites, but in general, eventually something might happen. And when it happens, you ideally don't want it in a body part that is fucking visual on a day-to-day basis. You want it somewhere that really almost doesn't matter whatsoever. Now, again, obviously you could argue if you're a competitive bodybuilder, having a chunk cut out of your ass, probably not the best look, but it's like, what's better, that or your delt? And then your quad, debilitating to the point of preventing you from fucking walking around, even from post-injection pain in some cases. So often, to be honest, a lot of people that have pinned quads will know that you can just randomly have a shot, even if it's perfect, and you're walking with a fucking gimp leg for the next few days. So anyway, it gets gyno, has an abscess, can't see separation of bicep, tricep, and shoulder. It was huge, but I was 15, 16, so I ignored the fuck out of it and quickly went to the YMCA to absolutely snap on a shoulder day. Quickly, I realized this wasn't normal pain. I went to the hospital and they gave me 3 antibiotics and said if in the following 2 days it doesn't get better, you have to come back ASAP and we were going to have to cut a piece of your shoulder out. Fuck, dude. At this time, if I knew what Tren was, I would have clearly took that instead. And I'm more than sure the metabolites of Tren would have ate away at the bacteria and cured me. Now, this is all anecdotal and don't try this at home. It was at this point James, best friend, decided to tell me he had started the nectar of all gods, steroids. I quickly ran home to my shitty Windows 97 desktop and began to do research. Fast forward to grade 12, B, grade 13 for you Americans. What the fuck, grade 12B? When I decided to do my first, oh, grade 13 is in America too? I must seem like them. I'm the only one going, what the fuck is this? When I decided to do my first steroid cycle. Okay, I'm clearly misinterpreting what the fuck is going on. The guy says he had sweet pubertal gyno, not thinking anything of it. My friend and I hopped on our very first cycle. Within a few days, caught myself touching my nipple. Had nice tits, along with an abscess on my shoulder. Had to get antibiotics. Now at this point, he decides to research about his first steroid cycle. What the fuck is going on, dude? It's like this guy just told me about how he started his first steroid cycle, got an infection, and now went home to learn about his first steroid cycle. When I decided to do my first steroid cycle in grade 12B, even though literally 2 seconds ago, he was telling me how he was 15 to 16 years old with a fucking huge abscess on his shoulder from starting his very first cycle. So what the fuck, man? Now at this point in my life, I'd convinced myself that all I needed was 1 cycle of test 500 milligrams and I would be forever complete. I would have the physique of a Greek god and more confidence than Charlie Sheen on life. Sadly, I was wrong. It was the day I realized that the first day I started lifting was the day I became forever small. Because I'd never be as big and as lean as I wanted. Now 6 years went by. 6 years of blended chicken breast, eating so much ass, I swear I gave myself hep A. That's actually a thing. I was an absolute unit, competing internationally as a men's physique and classic physique competitor, smashing endless amounts of bikini girls. I can still see all their Christmas tree ripped back from banging them from behind. It was Christmas every goddamn day for me. Bah ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha. Fast forward to my last year competing. I was 270 to 280, stacking more steroids than blocks in a game of Jenga. I'm writing this on my laptop, but will be posting pictures below with rough timelines off my phone. At this point, I had discovered and learned so much about PED use. It's like this guy can't even keep his own fucking story straight. PED use and the fitness industry as a whole. Some coaches you hire will tell you do so much steroids that not even Jeff Bezos himself could afford. Good one. I currently have been off all PED use for almost 2 years. I never took a PCT on my last cycle. I was at the point where I could eat Clomid like Skittles and my FSH and LH wouldn't budge. Or was it that you just didn't take enough time off? Note, always take your PCT. I'm going to point, form, things I learned, developed, etc. I've never heard anyone taking 1 steroid cycle. If you take them, it's a slippery slope of getting ass, a lot of sack and minimal nuts and chasing the purple dragon, gains. Start small and work your way up. Cycle strength. Picture someone that smokes weed all day or just smoked after work. You'll use less weed, you'll have better tolerance to weed, resulting in a better high, saving money and less effects on your health. Okay, it's decent. When getting to the point of adding in new compounds, I always found that 3 steroids at moderate dose was the best bang for the buck. When I say bang for your buck, I mean risk to reward. Doing a lot of one is not good. Always get blood work, even if it's only once a year. If it's something to be concerned about, it'll show up on blood work. Not true. If it's something to be concerned with, it will also show up on organ imaging. Also see a cardiologist. Listen, being huge, well, yeah, obviously this goes into imaging. Being huge is fucking great, especially in your early 20s. Now being 26, I do a lot more thinking about life goals. Your prefrontal cortex doesn't start developing until 25. Yeah, one thing you'll notice is when you're in your early 20s, your brain acts like, it's actually wild how different your mindset is from like 21 to 25. Like you think you're an adult at 21, it's like, no, you think like a fucking child in contrast to what you will in your later 20s. Let's see, as I'm getting to my latter half of my 20s, I started to realize that I don't come from the greatest family, and once you start seeing people around you get married, have kids, buy houses, you may start to think that a life partner is a little more important than your 20-inch arms. Debatable, I know. Bah ha ha. Ha ha. Stop watching other people take a gram of Tren and say to yourself, I can take 700 mgs and be okay. No, that's not true. Some of these social media stars that are young taking this crazy absurd amount of gear are going to have some serious health problems. Huge factors, genetics. Now to my next point. I don't care how much blood work you get. You could be butt buddies with your cardiologist. You're a victim of your own genetics. What I do mean by that, this is how I break it down. Imagines you only ate veggies and water you loved your whole life. What the fuck? You love your whole like this and never did anything unhealthy, but unfortunately your parent left you with a genetic defect in your heart. No matter what, you were going to die at the age 49 of a heart attack. There's nothing you can do, and this shit is the truth. If you take steroids, you will die sooner. As the anabolic doc says, you picked the wrong parents. I'm pretty sure Greg Doucette says this. If steroids are going to affect your acne or hair, the gains you make muscle-wise are easily going to be canceled by your luscious, thinning head and your skin that looks like a freshly cooked burger seeping with oil. Eventually, you'll get so big that normal women won't even look your way. All you'll be smashing is a bikini girl that hasn't had her period in 3 years, and on top of that, unless it has to do with glutes, macros, or her new suit she paid $2,500 for, you're mine as well. Talk to your right shoes. Right. One last thing. Fucking 8 exclamation points. Probably not that many, but quite a few. Stay the fuck away from SARMs. Derek may disagree with this point. Steroids have been around since the 20s when testosterone was synthesized. As much as people try and predict the long-term side effects of compounds or really anything, you don't know until the compound has been relevant and used by many humans and been in many long-term studies. That being said, some of the new designer drugs, like SARMs, have only been around from weeks all the way to a few years. Okay, you do not know the effects of these compounds long term. If you are someone like me that has a family history of a lot of cancer like me, stay the fuck away. I don't care what Big Daddy Delts Derek says. Long live Derek and his Olympia stage ready delts. Also, I want to start a GoFundMe to have Derek's delts chiseled into the Great Rockies of Canada. I'm so serious, guys. Also, Derek, I'm a busy man. I'm not going back into this post to edit grammar and spelling. So if I hear one peep about it, well, you lost a follower. JK, love you. Dude, it was not just your grammar and spelling. You literally had your timeline jump back and forth like a motherfucker. But anyways, complain if you will. We will see how this post trends, but I have endless stories of the 2 T's, Tren and Tinder. So anyways, that was, I commend this guy on his creative flair while writing. And he indeed, apparently, I don't know why, he has this account, Spinach Life 5492, which has no other posts at all. It has this one post, but then in this post called, "This is my physique off steroids for 2 years. I barely weight train and do a shit ton of cardio and take absolutely no subs, nothing, protein, BCAAs, nothing. I did a bunch of fasting only because I hated eating after the last few years." Guy who posted motherfucking Trenbolone story time. So this apparently is the same guy, yet his account is Professional Bug 256 now. So why would you not just stay with Spinach Life 5492? Was there a problem with that account that is preventing you from posting on it? Why is this here now? With that being said, we'll just take for granted this is the same fucking guy. The story seems to line up, although it could easily be someone else, but he has an interesting stream of stories with a fucking sick physique that seems to back up his statements as far as being a physique competitor and whatnot. And he has some of his cycles from the top 5 best coaches in the fitness industry and some of the other interesting shit I mentioned at the beginning. So let me know if you guys want me to cover that. I may record it literally after this one and just do it anyways, even if you guys don't comment, but I'll just assume it's good content because it looks good. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully that was mildly entertaining and hopefully legitimate, despite the fact that this guy's story was a bit all over the map. But we shall see, you know, how much detail he gives in these other threads here and what kind of info he has. And if any of it is practically applicable. You know, he mentioned some good tips for sure in the takeaways from his cycle history. And yeah, we will dig into it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram, moreplacemoredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with. In the video description below, my TRT clinic, all telemedicine, come for your own home, get meds shipped right to your door, super convenient, way of the future, telemedicine. All of the doctors and PCCs are vetted by myself personally, reflect the same quality of info I put out on the channel. So if you want to get high quality oversight, good interpretation of your labs, actual interpretation of high quality diagnostics, even understand what to order in the fucking first place, recommended lab tests and diagnostics are also in the video description below, as well as the TRT clinic. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas, design myself from scratch, and recommended diet model for newbies who are getting into lifting, as well as intermediate lifters who are not mindful of gut health, sleep hygiene, sports performance in general, don't even know if they're hitting their micronutrient intake. The recommended diet model is in the video description below, as well as anything else I'm associated with. It's all down there. Help support the channel, including the shirts I'm wearing. Anything else is down there. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.